Good morning. Thank you all. It's great to see you here. This is actually kind of my first coming out since being appointed by the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Radio Network to do the series and to do the Indy 500 next year. And this smile you're looking at now hasn't left me since they first started that. And you're probably not going to see it go away for several years now. Chip Ganassi Racing Teams has signed Ryan Briscoe to a multi-year deal to drive for them. But along with the full support of Target and NTT Data, Ryan Briscoe will drive the number 8 NTT Data Chevrolet. And Tony Kanaan will move to the number 10 Target Chevrolet. I'm sure you're going to want to know about that change, and I'm sure someone's going to tell you. Tony Kanaan, the champion of the Indianapolis 500, who, by the way, has a new action figure out. And I have a bunch of children and grandchildren. You cost me a lot of money. More importantly, if you haven't seen it, Tony is like that. Now, I can't decide if that's your winning, what you do when you stand up in the car, or are you surrendering to somebody? I mean,
When you win the 500, you can do whatever you want.
do anything you want. You got that one absolutely right. Chip Ganassi. We're seeing some changes in seats in the cars, and with TK moving into what is a car with a number that has quite a legend behind it. How did that decision come about?
Thanks, Paul. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for being here. First of all, it's great to be on the stage with all these, with all the talent that's up here, the driving talent, I should say, with Scott and Charlie and Larson, Briscoe, Kanaan. I mean, it's every car owner's dream to have this kind of talent on your team, and so I'm first and foremost very proud of that. And we're here today because a lot of partners came together and pulled off something that only great partners can do, and that is obviously when you say, gee, with Ryan going into the NTT car, people forget that he has a little bit of a history with NTT. He was designated to drive our car at the sports car that NTT sponsored here at the Brickyard last August, I want to say, and in conjunction with the NASCAR race. And Ryan was hurt prior to that. It hurt his wrist and wasn't able to drive. And Tony Kanaan stepped in for him. So it started a snowball of events that ultimately worked around to today's announcement, where Ryan's going to be in the number 8 NTT IndyCar, and Tony moves over to his best friend's car, the 10 that was vacated unfortunately by Dario Franchitti, who just sends all his regards. By the way, we just hung up the phone with him.
You were just talking, all of you were talking with him on the phone.
We were all on the
How
phone
is
with
he? Is he
Dario.
okay?
Yeah, he's perfect. He's fine. He's going to stay involved with the team, and he wants to know when we're testing and wants to be there to help out, and so we're ready to go. And he couldn't be more proud of the talent on this team also, and he looks forward to being a part of it continuing forward. So
Ryan Briscoe, finally, a 3-year deal, multi-year deal, with a team that is incredible. You got to be smiling as much as I am and everybody else. It's finally here for you.
Yeah, it's I feel like one of the luckiest guys out there at the moment. This is a sort of full circle. Chip touched on it. The first Indy car I ever drove was one of Chip's back at the end of 2004, and it's been a roller coaster ride since then, and had a lot of great experiences all over the place. I've driven a lot of great race cars, but nothing beats being back here. Can't wait to get integrated into the team again. Teammates with Tony, Scott, and Charlie. I think it's going to be an unbelievable year. Just really want to thank all the sponsors, NTT, Jeff here. We had a great time at Indy this year. It was an unbelievable experience, and we talked back then about this plan of moving forward and having a future, and here we are. So it's just a great feeling. Just want to thank Chip and Mike for the support, and finally we've got this down. It's out there, and it's going to be time to get to work.
Fun cold sometimes.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, motor racing, it's a roller coaster ride, and you never know, but feels like full circle. This is the first IndyCar I ever drove was one of Chip's back at the end of 2004, and in the last year, we've been talking about getting back together full time. He put me in one of his cars at Indy this year, and we had a great time, and here we are now. So it's just great to have that focus, that championship focus for 2014. Knowing what my job is and what I need to do, and it's going to be a strong team. We got Chevrolet, and all the sponsors are really happy. Very proud to represent NTT Data this year, and can't wait to get started.
The stability.
Oh, for sure. It's December 2013, and I know what I'm doing next year, and preparation's already started for next year, and for a lot of drivers this would be late. For a lot of drivers, this is, they dream of these opportunities coming around this early, and certainly I do. I feel lucky, and it's great to be able to have that focus and start working on the championship for next year, and getting organised, getting the testing plan down, and it makes a difference. It's going to be a short and quick championship, very compressed, and we're going to need to be ready to go come St. Pete in March. So it's going to be on top of us before we know it, and preparation's already started.
I understand you.
Yeah, I mean, a turn of sad events led to this, but one thing that I'm happy about is, getting a phone call from Dario and talking to him in person a month ago when the doctors broke the news to him. I don't think I will ever forget when, your best friend looks in your face and says, I would love for you to replace me. Being a race car driver, that's coming from a race car driver, that's unusual. We're so competitive. Although we're best friends, we race against each other for a long time. So what can I say, man? A 2013 year for me, it was probably the year of my life. And with the 500, then I was already part of a Ganassi organization, and then all of a sudden this thing came up. So I'm extremely excited.
Just incredible. Do we know about this? Is it going to develop? What do we know?
I don't know, but I know he's going to be around. So that's enough for me. And him being around, I can tell you what I'm going to ask for him to be one of my driver's coach for sure, and help me out with, I'm getting in his car with his crew and the people that he's been used to for the past 6 years, and all the secrets that he had on the racetrack, I will hit him up for it for sure. So it's awesome to have him around.
With some of the.
Well, when you say you've done some amazing things, it's only because I have amazing partners, and that's what made this happen today. Was amazing partners in people like Target and NTT Data. They came together and made this happen. So I mean, it's something that that we're forever indebted to the people that make this happen. I'm just the guy that's got his name on the front door. It takes great partners and great sponsors, and that's what we're fortunate to have. And that's how you end up with great drivers and great people working for you, is you have a solid base to stand on. And that's what NTT and Novo and especially Target provide for us.
Were you going to be able to really step it up?
Well, first and foremost, what they bring is experience. And with the compressed schedule next year, that's going to be an important thing, is experience when you show up at these tracks. Hey, there's a lot of great drivers out there, Connor Daly, Sam Bird, a lot of guys that deserve an opportunity in this sport. And you know, gosh, it's a great thing to give those guys opportunities, but you know, it's just a little, you know, when you have experience laying out there like that, you're probably better off, at least in my mind, to do that. And but you know, those young guys deserve a shot, and one of these days they're gonna get their shot, and hopefully it's with us or somebody else, and they're gonna do good. But you know, there were a lot of great guys that were available to us, but you know, Ryan and Tony have experience with NTT, with the sponsors. They have experience with the team. You know, Ryan's first IndyCar drive when he came over to the States was in one of our cars. And, you know, we've been trying to get together, like I said, in Houston with Tony for years. And so it's a nice thing to get him, you know, get him in the 10 car. It's his best friend's car, you know, Dario and he. And, you know, then speaking of Dario, you're probably going to see him around a little bit around the team this year, too.